Hello and welcome to episode 11 of the Wiretap Whisper Podcast presented by me, Sammy ASMR. If you've never watched a podcast episode before, this is a creator focused podcast series where I sit down with other ASMR artists across the space and I talk to them all about their channel, their hobbies and interests, and just kind of everything in between, basically. Today, we are joined by the lovely Maya ASMR.
Hi. So happy to be here.
It's nice to have you. And I have a quick summary for who Maya is and what her channel is about, for those of you who don't know. So basically, Maya is a Portuguese creator. She has over 200 videos on her YouTube channel, 210 to be precise because I counted them all. She's been uploading now for around 2.5 years, and in that time, she has accumulated over 100,000 subscribers. If I was to kind of summarize Maya's content and the style of ASMR that she goes for, it's really just a wide variety of videos, from things like up close mic triggers to role plays. However, most of that is in Portuguese. Furthermore, and for the first time ever on this podcast, I'm going to talk about Twitch. So Maya also has over 25,000 followers on Twitch as well, which is just incredible. But that's only the start of what we're going to talk about today. So Maya, who are you today?
Oh my God, the hard question. I feel like I'm gonna go really deep into this question.
Go for it.
Um, it's really hard to think about it because things have changed so much since I started like the YouTube journey.
Mhm.
I feel like I am so much better than I was before, and I've been working towards um getting better with my mental health and everything.
Yeah.
And for a while, I kind of struggled a bit. I was trying to find what to do with my life, kind of like most of us are.
Yeah.
And I kind of struggled a little. Also, moving from my country to the UK, where I live now, I felt super lost. I felt super alone sometimes. And I feel like in the past few months, at least, I kind of took that journey of trying to find myself and trying to do things that I actually enjoy. And that's been working pretty well so far, I would say. And I feel like I'm not the best version of myself today, not yet, but
No.
I'm walking towards it.
Yeah.
I would like to put it that way. But yeah, I'm happy right now, I would say. And
That's the most important thing.
yeah, I feel like I'm doing okay so far.
Yeah, and obviously today we're going to dive into, that journey and everything, basically. So
Mhm.
yeah, if you've not watched this podcast before, the podcast is split up into three sections: a past, a present, and a future. And obviously we'll start from the past and work our way up to the future. So yeah, starting with the past, Maya. As I mentioned in the summary, you are a Portuguese creator, right? But you obviously, as we just found out from the first 5 minutes, you do speak English and you actually live in England. How did that come about? Did you move to the UK when you were younger?
I moved to the UK around 4 years ago. My boyfriend was already living here, and we were kind of like in a long distance relationship for a while.
Okay.
Um, because I was studying in Portugal, and then we just decided that we could have a better life in here in terms of jobs and
Yeah.
um, yeah, just jobs in general. They're much better than in Portugal. Um, and yeah, we decided to give it a try. We just came here and started working, and I think it was a good option, and I'm really glad I did it. And yeah, it was just because he was here and I had the opportunity to come. So sorry.
No, no, that makes total sense. I am a sucker for romance, though, so you're gonna have to tell me how that came about, because you said like you guys were online. Like the whole time,
Not
or
really. No, we've been together for like 8 years.
wow?
So, uh, we kind of met when we were back in school. He was in the same school as I was in Portugal.
Okay.
So our relationship started like real life. But then he moved to the UK because his parents were here, and we had this long distance relationship
Yeah.
for about 3 years. Somehow we made it work, and
No,
here we are today.
I think that's really special that you did, because I know how hard like long distance can be, and a lot of
Hmm.
relationships do break down just eventually, because
Yeah.
it does get so hard, right? That's really, I think it shows, probably the love that you guys have for each other, that you kind of, um, I want to say endured that. Yeah, that sounds like a bit over the top, but you know what I mean. Like you
Yeah.
did endure that long distance, and now you guys are together in the UK, so it's perfect, really. Um, I don't want to. I don't want you to go in too much detail, but whereabouts in Portugal are you from? Can you touch on any of that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I disclosed the name of the town. I'm from Caldas da Rainha, which is like a small city, kind of. It's close to Lisbon, so it's like in the middle of Portugal.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it's really close to like the coast, and it's really pretty.
It's
I
nice.
definitely recommend.
Yeah. It's funny because I've been to Portugal a lot. But if you've come to familiarize yourself with like UK holidays, when people go to Portugal, they normally go to the Algarve, which is in the
Yeah.
south. So I've been to, places like Albufeira, Vilamura, uh, Silves, I want to say.
Hmm.
All these like really like niche towns, but very like I mean, I must have been to Portugal nearly on 10 times, I want to say, on holiday.
Oh my God,
It
that's a
was,
lot.
yeah, it was so popular. Um, but we just, as a family, we just kind of fell in love with it. All the historic like castles and like architecture that
Hmm.
there is as well. It's a beautiful country. I haven't been in a while, but I definitely like to go back and explore, the non-Algarve parts.
Yeah, you definitely should. I mean, the south is pretty warm compared to the rest of the country, but in the
Hmm.
summer, the whole country is pretty warm, and the weather is always nice. You should definitely go up north because it's really, really pretty. In terms of nature, you
Yeah.
can find so many gems in there. I myself want to visit because I haven't been to a lot of places in Portugal, and I feel like I'm missing a lot. But I definitely recommend the north as well, especially places. There's like some really cool places within nature where you can just go into like these retreats,
Hmm.
and it's just so beautiful.
So
It's
nice.
it's really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like a sucker for, landscapes and nature as well. So I think I'd
Hmm.
enjoy it a lot.
Definitely.
And if it's a bit more cooler up north, that's always good as well, because I'm very prone
Yeah,
to
it
them
is slightly colder than to be in the
in
south,
the south.
definitely.
Yeah. So do you prefer? This is the hard question now. Do you prefer the UK to Portugal, or do you prefer Portugal to the UK? You can say
That's
both.
that's not even a hard question for me. I prefer
You
Portugal.
prefer Portugal. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've talked about it quite a few times, and we want to go back to Portugal. Of course, I'm from there, so I'm kind of biased, but it's the thing. Portugal has such good weather, such good food, such good people,
Hmm.
and even though I can find some of those things here, of course, it always feels like I'm out of my place. It doesn't feel like home. Um,
Yeah, your
and
heart's in
especially the
Portugal.
weather, it's really hard to deal with in the UK.
It's just so much rain.
Yeah. Portugal has rain, but it's like sunny most of the year.
Yeah.
And dealing with such gray days was a big change. It was a
No.
lot.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's just like your heart's just kind of, it's just set there, isn't it? And I know well, not my parents, my mom and my stepdad, who I went there mostly with. I know they always talk about, if they retired there and they would get a little
Hmm.
villa or something. I know they would love to live there because it's so nice. Um, but yeah, so obviously, you spent a lot of your life in Portugal. What was growing up like? What type of kid were you in school? Stuff like that.
Oh, well, first of all, the life in Portugal, it's so laid back compared to
Hmm.
the UK
It's
from
very
what I
chill.
experienced.
Yeah.
Yeah. you can have a lot of spare time, and even with having a job, you can still like enjoy your life kind of with your friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a lot more going on outside, and I feel like in the UK, at least so far, what I experience is I used to work and come home straight away, and there wasn't much time or much to do
Yeah.
compared to what I was doing in Portugal. But I feel like growing up there was definitely really amazing because I grew up in a really small village close to the town I mentioned, and I had the opportunity to just play outside all the time, to have neighbors that were my age.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of like never alone. And I have two older brothers, but we're kind of close in age. So yeah, I had so much fun, and I was a really happy kid, I would say, in general. Um, and in school, I was like a really good student.
Okay. Yeah.
I was It's like me and my brothers were kind of like different. I had one brother that was like average in school. He cared, but not enough to have like such good grades.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one was more like um, a bad boy. He
Okay.
wanted to just skip class and enjoy life. Um, and then there was me. I was like the
Goody two
the
shoes.
nice girl. I was always doing everything right. I had really, really good grades, and I guess my mom was always super happy about that. But I don't know, I was always a little bit proud of myself for that as well. So it
Mm-hmm.
kind of felt good to be a good student in general because I like perfectionism, and I like to be good at things. I I enjoyed being a good student in general. It
Yeah.
kept pushing me.
So did you end up like doing anything like a degree in Portugal or anything like that?
Yeah, I did. I went to uni to study graphic design.
Nice.
Um, I ended up not working with it, but
It
I
helps when it
enjoyed
comes to
it.
ASMR. Yeah.
It does help. Yeah, that's true. I feel like I can use a lot of the skills that I learned, either with editing videos or just creating layouts and stuff.
Yeah.
It helps a lot, definitely. I did look for some jobs when I finished uni, but it's I don't know, it's kind of hard. They always ask for experience, and I was like, I don't have that.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, I loved it. I loved the course, and I went for it without really knowing what was it. I just had to choose something, kind of. So I decided to go for graphic design because it sounded like, oh, this is really cool, and I went for it, and
Yeah.
yeah, I ended up loving it.
It's funny because a lot of ASMR artists that I've had on here, they do have backgrounds in design or like art or just something like creative. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
They're never like the sciencey or like the maths types. It's always something like that. So I guess for you, creating ASMR, through videos, through live streams, I guess it scratches that itch probably for you to create something if you've always been
Yeah,
that
it
type of
does.
person. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's true. And I guess it makes sense that most people that create content have some sort of background with art or have been around it for a while. I don't know. Um,
Not me, spoilers.
because you don't.
I've never been good at
No,
art.
but
My dad used to always do my art homework for me
that's great.
because he was good at design.
Oh, see, but you had someone around you that kind of like
That's true.
had that side.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just feel like most people that end up creating content like that are usually somehow connected to some creative
Yeah.
process or something. But
No.
it definitely helped, yeah. Having that background. I always had this like while growing up as well. I used to do these theaters at home, and I used to be super expressive, but I was super shy. It was only for me and my family. Um, so I guess that also reflected in the videos. I ended up creating videos with the type of things that I enjoy, and I get to express myself a lot more throughout those videos.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely having that heart's influence helped a lot.
Yeah. So speaking of ASMR, and you've probably talked about this a lot, but I've got to do it anyway. How did you first come across ASMR? And I guess is there a particular video that like stands out as like your first experience, or you can't remember that far back?
I actually can. I have two separate moments because I experienced ASMR way back. I think I was 11 or 12,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't know back then it was a thing. So I
Right. Yeah.
I kind of forgot it for years. And around 3 years ago, I kind of came back to it. So the first time I definitely remember it was this video that I think it still exists on YouTube. It's like a virtual barber shop.
I know which one you're talking about.
I think most people know that video.
And it's like
Um,
it's like two like Italian guys. I think one's called
yeah,
Manuel, and they're like, "Hey, Manuel."
it is so good.
It is really
And I
good.
remember that one of my brothers found that video and he was like, dude, you gotta see this. Like, it's amazing. It's like you're inside the barbershop. You
Hmm.
just gotta listen. He gave me headphones and I remember I laid down on my sofa and I closed my eyes. And I remember this moment specifically where they whisper in your ear. And I was just like,
Oh,
oh my God.
I know what word he says as well. It's okay. We're doing a whisper here, guys. Satara.
That's so good. Honestly, it was the first moment in my life where I ever experienced the ASMR, and I still love that video up until this day.
It's so
It's one of
good.
my favorites.
Yeah. I wonder what I
Um,
wonder what them guys are doing.
I don't know, but they were pretty good.
Yeah.
Like the
So
acting itself, like the voice acting was really good.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, after that, of course, yeah, I think I checked a few more 3D videos. That's what they were called back then.
Hmm.
Um, and then I completely forgot about it, kinda. And then 3 years ago, I actually watched this interview with Sophie Michelle, where she was talking about ASMR, and I was like, "What is this thing?" I kind of, I kind of know what it is, but at the same time, I don't.
Yeah.
So I remember checking her channel, and I started watching some videos, and then I was really like interested, and I decided to search a little bit more. I remember starting with, well, her videos, and then GB and Marno. And I kind of got stuck with the videos. I was just watching them for a long time.
Yeah.
And I came to this point where I was like, I want to do this.
Yeah.
Because I realized it was helping so many people. And I don't know, I had this thing that I really wanted to do it as well. So, yeah, those were the two different separate moments where I got contact with ASMR.
That's nice. I'm glad you brought that video up, and you've answered a couple more questions there. Because the next one
I
was like,
know.
what made you stay? And you kind of just like, once you watch a video and you enjoy it, you just kind of get lost in like a rabbit hole at that point. Like
Yeah, kind of.
like you do anyway with like YouTube. Like you can, you watch one YouTube video, and then next minute, like you're like 10, 15 videos in, and it's
Yeah.
like 3 a.m. in the morning, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, I feel like ASMR does that a lot. You kind of go down the rabbit hole, like you get sucked in and you can't get out because it's so good. And the experience that you get from it is just so lovely that it just wants you, like you want more all the time.
Yeah.
And with ASMR, it's like exactly the same. It's good.
So yeah, so back when when you first started watching it, a lot of people obviously watch or kind of lean on ASMR for, to help with things like stress and anxiety. Was it a mental outlet for you back then as well? Is that kind of why you watched it a bit more than I guess not someone normally would?
Um, it's interesting because a lot of people ask me if I watch ASMR, and they kind of get surprised when I say that I don't watch ASMR that much.
Hmm.
And I actually never used ASMR to fall asleep. And a lot of people are like, what?
Yeah.
Uh, but the thing is, I struggle a lot more with anxiety. And I have these moments where I just can't have much control. And I used to have it's a lot better now. Not really, but a little.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I always had these, and sometimes it would go kind of into some sort of panic attacks, and there was not much that I could do. There weren't like many techniques that I knew to calm down. So my escape would be put on a video that could kind of take me away from what I was feeling.
Yeah.
Um, and so ASMR kind of became that at some point. And I was doing already, before I knew ASMR, I was doing it already with some videos on Instagram because they were kind of getting popular. Either with like the slime videos or even mukbangs that
Okay.
are my like secret pleasure.
A
But
guilty pleasure.
and it's like, um, I don't know. I always used it as an escape because I could really calm myself down. Um, I never use it much for like to fall asleep, but it really helped me with the anxiety. And
Yeah.
at a certain point, I was like, okay, if it does that for me, I can see how that helps millions of people right now.
Yeah. And that give you like the inspiration to start your own channel.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And a lot of people kind of, make that link between, this is helping me, why can't I, help others and help, the community,
Hmm.
and just give back. You see, if you read a lot of people's about me section on the channel page, it'll say something along those lines. Um, I think, yeah. So did you have, you've started your channel, or you may be in the process of starting your channel. Did you have any early expectations or anything like that? Or was it kind of just, I just want to do this and I'm just going to make what I want and see how it goes?
Um, it was a mix of both, I would say, because oh my God, this is embarrassing, but I used to have a YouTube channel like many years ago with a friend of mine, and I also had one kind of with my brother where we would just like do really silly stuff.
Yeah.
But I always had this sort of feeling that I wanted to do some kind of content. I just didn't know what. But I always enjoyed YouTube, and I always felt like really fascinated by the whole creation world.
Mm-hmm.
And I had that, like, it wasn't really an expectation, but I kind of had that feeling of wanting it to be something good for me and something good for others.
Yeah.
So when I found ASMR, it was like a connection straight away because
Yeah.
I could definitely help people with it. And yeah, I don't know. I kind of created the channel like a little bit too fast. I was just like, I'm gonna go for it. Um, it was actually a fun thing. Was like, I saw the Blue Yeti and I loved it. And I told my boyfriend, oh, I really want that microphone. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually gave me the microphone for my birthday, which is in Christmas.
Oh.
And he said, okay, now you have to start the channel. And and yeah, then I just started it, and I didn't really expect it to grow so much. I never had in my mind like the 100K or anything closer.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it was some sort of jumping into it kind of blindly and see what I could do with it.
Yeah. No, and it's funny, like I think a lot of people as kids growing up kind of have dreams, for want of a better word, of just being a YouTuber. So
Mm-hmm.
I think for a lot of people, they kind of see ASMR and they see that as like, okay, this is finally the thing that I can do, and I can, this is how I can take my first steps into YouTube by creating ASMR. So I think that's just a natural thing that you, like, a natural thought process that you went through. Did you have any inspirations within the community? Did you like look at certain creators and think, okay, I like what they do, I want to obviously not copy them, but implement certain things that they were doing into your own things? And then also, as well as inside the community, did you have any inspirations outside of the community as well? Obviously, maybe your boyfriend was inspiring you, like you said, to he was the one that gave you that mic, right? So obviously he's inspired you and motivated you to do it as well.
Yeah. Um, Funny enough, my boyfriend doesn't like ASMR. He he can't like he can listen a little bit, but he doesn't really like it.
It's
It
not for him.
kind of yeah, it kind of bothers him sometimes, and I'm like, well, you have to watch. It's me.
Yeah.
And he does, but he was really supportive throughout the whole process. He would even watch my videos sometimes, or the streams when I started streaming. He was there all the time, even though
Hmm.
he doesn't like it as much.
Yeah.
Um, but that gave me the confidence that I kind of needed to keep going. Um, Regarding the creators that I always got like inspired from,
Hmm.
I think one of the biggest creators that I always looked up at was GB
Yeah.
because she has this well massive channel and she already has so much experience. And one of the things that I always look into a lot is quality, like audio quality and camera, lighting, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Maybe because I studied a bit. And her videos are just amazing in terms of quality. Like they are top notch. I always look at them as something that I would like to achieve one day.
Hmm.
Um, in terms of videos, like the content itself, I always followed a little bit more my own ideas and what I like. Of
Yeah.
course, we kind of base ourselves in other content that we see out there,
Yeah.
but I don't know. It was always mostly GB, and then Marno, I was watching him a lot because he has a really funny side in his videos, and I love comedy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I do it a little bit on my videos sometimes, and I feel like it comes a little from that.
Hmm.
Um,
I like that.
but yeah,
Um,
sorry.
no, you talk about GB and her quality and her setup, but I think that's what I think about when I think of you. I think you've got a really nice setup. The lighting's always on
Yeah,
point. You've got your two mics set up. You've got your thumbnails are always looking so good, and I know how important thumbnails are. And it's obviously you put a lot of time and thought into them. And I think that's one of the many reasons why you're obviously so successful. So don't sell yourself
thank
short.
you.
I think you're doing an amazing job. Um, but but yeah, like I said in the summary, when I was looking at your channel, there's a wide variety of different styles of ASMR on there. It's not some people you look at and you think, okay, this person's just like mainly role players, or this
Yeah.
person's mainly um sometimes like lo-fi, like tapping and scratching videos, things like that. Whereas with you, it's so diverse, and I think you're just kind of putting your own influence on it, and just what you're passionate about at the time, which I love. Um, and I guess that kind of concludes this stuff about the past. And we're going to move on to the present now. So for this section, I normally kind of put your channel under a little microscope, and I look at
Mhm.
some stats and things, even though I hate stats sometimes. Um, but yeah, but basically what I do is I go all the way back to the start, and I kind of make my way to the present with this. So your first ever video, which is a unboxing ASMR. Um, First of all, I love that you kept it up on the channel, because a lot of people don't. A lot of people delete their first videos because they think it's like quite cringe, or whatever. Um, and you and like we just talked about, you filmed right off the bat with a Blue Yeti, which a lot of people don't. And you
Mhm.
also filmed it with a good camera as well. I think you use a 750D, if my memory serves me right.
Mhm. Correct.
Um, like for me, like seeing that, it kind of said to me, okay, you wanted really good quality from the start, and obviously you were inspired by GB and her quality. So I'm guessing that was like a natural thing for you to do before you filmed the first video. Like you wanted it to be good quality
Um, Funny enough, I think I didn't know GB when I
when you
filmed
first
my
started.
first video.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, okay.
I think it came a little bit after because back then, I think I was only watching Sophie Michelle and just a couple more like smaller YouTubers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I always loved having things done properly, kind of.
Yeah.
And because I studied with photography and video, I always had some sort of background with it. So I knew what I could do. And so I didn't want to do it badly, if that makes sense.
No, I agree. I was the
I already
same.
had a camera, so that was really helpful. My boyfriend had, I stole it from him. It's mine now. And then, yeah, of course, I got the Blue Yeti, so that was a big thing because I know a lot of people don't have that straight from the beginning,
Hmm.
and I was able to do it, and I'm really grateful for that. Um, and with that first video, it also shows a lot of my progress in terms of like being a person
Yeah,
because if you noticed, I didn't show my face for a few
I
videos.
did. I don't think you talk. I
Um,
don't think you talked for a while as well.
no, I think I talk right in the first video. I think I do talk,
Oh,
but
okay.
not
It
much.
wasn't right.
And
It wasn't a lot, right? Okay. Yeah.
yeah, and I was hiding my face because I really was super shy.
Uh
I
huh.
didn't know what to do, but I really wanted to start, so I started somewhere. And then
No.
when I felt confident, I definitely felt like showing my face, and I went for it. But
Yeah.
on that first video, I was really excited actually. I wasn't that nervous. I saw that kit that I'm unboxing and I was like, I want to film a video
You're
with
just gonna
this.
do this. Yeah.
And I just did it. I don't know.
Well, one thing you're doing well with this podcast is you're answering all my next questions for me, so it's making my
Oh my
life
god, I'm
dead
so
easily.
sorry.
No, it's good. It's fine. It's good. Because I was going to say, why was that your first video? But obviously, you've just said, you kind of had this thing that you needed to unbox anyway, and then the other thing was, you know, um, when you leave your first video up like that, it's good for you to look back on, right? To see how far you've came. And like you said, specifically like your personality wise, how you've just grew more confident. You're obviously you're obviously like front and center now. You're talking and stuff like that. So I think it is nice to kind of compare, where you've came from to now. I think that's really nice. So after about 2 months, you had your first video kind of blow up, and it was teaching you Portuguese, funnily enough, which has 60,000 views. Now, I'm guessing that's obviously grew over time, but compared to the other ones, I'm guessing that one was the first one that really like started to do well for you. Um, was that the first? What was that? Was that the first Portuguese video that you'd done? Actually speaking in Portuguese, and do you really think you connected with the Portuguese viewers in that video
um, I think first of all, that video, I think most of the views came a little bit
after the
later
fact?
on.
Sometimes that
Yeah.
happens. Yeah.
Um, when I started doing more Portuguese, I think that video kind of got a lot more attention,
Yeah.
but it did do well. I remember it did do well because a lot of the Portuguese community came over to watch as well. Um, it was the first video that I ever did with Portuguese, and I was really excited because most people were asking to just teach a few things, and I had a few friends that were also content creators that kept asking like, "Oh, you should definitely teach some Portuguese sometime."
Yeah.
And yeah, I decided to do that video, and then it actually did well, and I did start seeing more Portuguese people around. It's mostly from Brazil, but
Okay. Yeah.
I did get a lot of more Portuguese people coming over. Um, Actually, the first video that kind of blew up, I think it was because I did a collaboration with GB back then, and one of my videos showed up on our channel, and I had a lot of people going like, "I come from GB,"
Yeah.
and I remember I got around like 4,000 subscribers just
Just from
from
that.
that.
Wow.
Yeah,
How's,
it
how
was
was that?
insane.
How was that doing a collab with GB like so early on? Like, I guess
It wasn't just me. It was
a
a
couple.
community collaboration that she
Nice. I remember
asked
seeing the video
people.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like for the 100. I think she had like 100 uploads or something. I don't really like remember specifically
what it
what
was
it
for.
was, but
Yeah.
she was celebrating something, and I remember like I sent the video, me and like a bunch of other people, of course, and I wasn't expecting, but because my video was kind of in the beginning, a lot of people saw it and they were coming over to the channel and they were like, "Oh my God, I came from GB," and I was like, "That's insane."
I bet that was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, my channel started like blowing up, and that was the first time the channel actually grew like a lot. And yeah, the video started going up as well because of the subscribers. But it was kind of overwhelming, but in a good
In
way,
a good way. Yeah.
sort of.
You're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, what's happening? But it's like, okay, this is good. Just
Yeah, definitely.
um, okay. So then I think obviously I'm looking at real time views, right? I know you've said that, you know, a lot of these videos kind of gained more traction over time, but
Yeah.
you had two role play videos that reached similar, similar views. And then you had like two just like more classic trigger videos, that were around the same number of views as well. So you had like I say, you've had so much variety in your content back then and still now. Back then, was it more just about putting videos out that you enjoyed rather than sticking to like a certain genre or type of ASMR that you'd know would do well? Because I know a lot of people just they kind of get stuck in like a niche, right? Because you know they'll maybe start off with a variety and then realize, okay, you know, these role plays doing well, so they kind of just
Hmm.
tunnel into like a role play channel at that point. So
Yeah.
was it more just about just enjoying yourself and putting out what you wanted?
One of the things with my channel is from the beginning, I always told myself that I didn't want to create content that I don't enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, or more like I don't want to follow something that is popular just because it is popular.
Yeah.
Um, and because I was doing it as an hobby in the beginning, of course now I'm full time and I still think about it, but um, it's kind of different. And in the beginning, I was always looking into doing my own thing, doing what I like. And if a video comes to my mind, I will do it. I don't really care about the views.
Yeah.
Of course, there's always like in the back of your mind, you always think about what can do well. What can you do to get more views or
Yeah.
to reach more people? And of course, that's the idea when you're a content creator, you want to reach more people.
Yeah.
But I always try to have this in my mind and not do content just because it does well. So maybe that's why my content is so like there's so many things in my channel that you can go from. There's
Mm-hmm.
role plays, but there's also like trigger focused videos.
Yeah.
And I really like that because I enjoy that variety
Yeah.
and I have fun with both things. So definitely something that I keep in mind even now. My channel is still pretty like it's not focused on anything.
Yeah.
Um, Mostly because of that.
Yeah, and I think to look at how, you know, how big you are now, both on YouTube and Twitch, and to kind of relate it back to that, how you've kept it, uh, how you've kept this variety. You know, I think that's testament to who you are as a creator as well. Like, you know, it you probably could have just stuck to more of like a certain genre to grow faster, but you stuck like true to yourself. And it was probably harder to grow in the beginning, but like, you know, I think for your mental health and just your happiness overall, I think it's paid off for you. Um,
Definitely.
and yeah, just well done for that, because I I
Thank you.
I try to keep my channel varied as well. And I know there's ways and means that I could be, you know, doing more to get more views and stuff.
Hmm.
But like you say, you know, if you end up doing that, then you might end up producing content that you're just not feeling yourself. And at the
Exactly.
end of the day, that's going to get you sad, right? So
In
yeah.
terms of the niche that you were talking about, I feel like in a way, I kind of ended up finding a niche as well because I turned my channel into Portuguese.
Right. Okay.
Um, and that's sort of a niche because in Portugal there's not a lot of ASMR content. So I feel like that's maybe something that put my channel in like a specific
I see what you're
um
saying. Yeah,
yeah,
the
yeah.
category. Yeah,
So it's like I don't really need to do some sort of specific videos. I can do a little bit of everything because of the language,
yeah.
you know, because there's not many content creators
No, but
doing Portuguese from Portugal.
yeah, I think that's really smart what you've done. And it plays into who you are as well. So it's like this perfect scenario that just ended
Hmm.
up happening. And I love that for you. And that was one of the things I was going to ask you was, there's clearly like an audience there for Portuguese speaking ASMR videos, and obviously you're
Hmm.
playing into that very well. So, and you're still doing videos in English, streams in English. Like it's just so much. It's crazy. It's
I
crazy how you manage.
actually I create. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but I also have an English channel.
Yeah, I was going to
But
ask.
it's much smaller. I just started like a few months ago, but I enjoy doing Portuguese videos, and I feel like it's a different part of me that I can show and put out there.
Hmm.
But at the same time, I always enjoyed doing English content. I don't know why I always connected with the language as much, and I don't know. I turned my channel into Portuguese, but I always had this place in my heart for English.
English. Yeah.
And in my mind, I was like, I kind of want to go back to doing English, but I know how badly it affects to have both languages in the
Yeah.
channel in
Well,
terms of.
yeah, there's something that I'm going to touch on in a second. So we'll talk about
I'm
that.
sorry.
No, you don't apologize. It's something I have to deal with. But yeah, it is. You can see the difference, and I guess that is hard for you to say. Okay, I'm just going to do an English video now, or a
Hmm.
period of English videos. So your first video actually to pass 100,000 views, which is an insane amount of people. And to put that into perspective, I don't think there's like a stadium in the UK that has 100. I think the highest is like 90,000, which is Wembley. So that's like a
That's
that's like
crazy.
that's like a sold out Wembley, and you're sat there in the middle of the pitch and doing ASMR,
That's
and
crazy.
everyone's watching, and plus more people that they can't be there. So it's really mental. And obviously that was, I think, when I was looking at the date, it was about 8 months of uploading, which again is really great. And really testament to the hard work that you're putting in, because to get 100,000 views just after 8 months is insane. Um, and I'm at a similar point now with my channel, and I've barely broke like 10,000 views. So it's incredible. Why do you think that counting, because it was like a counting down video, right? Why do you think that one done so well compared to what at that point what you'd done previously?
I honestly have
You no
no
idea.
idea. Sometimes it's like, when you prepare so much for a video and you're so excited to film it and then you do it and then it doesn't perform so well.
Hmm.
And then there's other videos that you don't really prepare much for and they just
It's just
blow
it's
up.
just the algorithm, isn't it? Yeah.
And you're just like, I didn't do much for this video and it just went crazy. And I don't know, I feel like a few of my videos that went viral, like there was one video that went like, I don't know what happened. Apparently, it kind of became viral in Brazil, from what I was told. And I didn't prepare for that video at all. I literally put my camera in front of me and I was like, I need to film something, but what?
Yeah.
And the idea came to my mind. And I was like, I'm gonna do it.
Just gonna, yeah, spur of the
And then,
moment. Yeah.
yeah. And the counting video, I don't know, I feel like I prepared a little bit for it. I had the idea in the back of my mind, but I had no idea it would go like it would do so well. And I cannot say like do this or do that because there's no way you can predict that the video will do well. It's really crazy with YouTube.
Yeah. And I guess that randomness can sometimes create great moments where, it kind of catches you off guard that this is done well. But then sometimes you'll create a video that you've put a lot into and it won't do as well as expected. And that kind of
Yeah,
that kind of sucks. It's definitely, there's a lot of like highs and lows, I guess, with content creation in that sense. But
definitely.
for the most part, it's all highs for Maya, basically. So
Also like with I'm not sure you probably use YouTube Studio as well to like look at views and stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like the platform itself, it has these messages that just tell you like your video is doing well or your video is not doing as well as the others.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the messages are kind of like you look at them and they say your video is not doing well. People are not clicking on it as much.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I put so much effort into it, but that's
Thanks.
okay.
Thanks for reminding me. Yeah. So
Exactly.
I think after that video, your next three videos had 200,000 views, 80,000 views, and 460,000 views. Now, like when I was comparing that to all the other videos prior, obviously it was such a noticeable increase at that point. Could you notice like the hype of the channel around that point in time? Because it must have been crazy to see that step up and 4 videos in a row as well. Like it wasn't like a blip, it was like a big
Mhm.
chunk of videos.
Yeah. I had a moment where my channel started to grow up like extremely fast. Everyone was also like really surprised. I think there were a lot of people that were thinking that I was buying followers or subscribers. And I was like, I'm not doing
No.
anything. Like, I swear I'm just putting out content.
It, yeah.
It was mostly when my channel got discovered by the Brazilian community, which is amazing and huge. Because I did this collaboration with a Brazilian guy on his channel,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people started coming to my channel. And because I started doing a few more videos in Portuguese, it started to kind of blow up, and people were they kept coming. And I remember there was a point where I was having like 1,000 subscribers each week. I remember like celebrating the milestones, and I couldn't keep up with them, which was extremely overwhelming in a good way. But it's just like something you don't expect. And then I remember like I was trying to celebrate 5K and I was already getting closer to 10. And I
So
was like,
yeah,
I don't know what to do or how to deal with so many people.
it's just
But they
crazy.
were always they were always amazing, super, super kind. And um, I felt like so much love coming from that Portuguese community. Maybe that's why I started giving a little bit more attention to that.
Yeah.
And I definitely noticed with those videos kind of like blowing up, the channel itself was also growing. And there wasn't like a specific type of content that could bring those views. If you check those videos, they are kind of different.
Yep.
But I feel like sometimes role plays do a little bit better, or medical role plays,
Yeah, definitely.
especially.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not really my thing. I think my cranial nerve exam kind of did really well, and I was happy about it. I loved doing the video because I prepared a lot. Like I actually studied the exam. Um, but it's not really my thing. So even though it gives views, I don't do it as much.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, seeing those videos like growing and growing and growing, I was like, I don't know, it's out of this world to have
Yeah.
so many people.
But a nice feeling, right, as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So this is what we were going to talk about before. So in that block of 4 videos where you had like really high views, 2 of them videos are exactly the same video, except
Hmm.
one of them's in English and one of them's in Portuguese. Now, one of those videos had 80,000 views and the other one had 460,000 views, which is 5 times, just over 5 times more views.
Yeah.
Um, it must have been very apparent at that point that the Portuguese content, was a lot more popular than the English stuff.
Yeah, I think that was the moment. There was a point where I was deciding to do some videos in both languages. So I would do one version in English and one in Portuguese.
Yeah.
And of course, I started noticing that the Portuguese version was always doing better because most of the people on my channel, they were Portuguese. So that's the content they were looking for.
Yeah.
And specifically that video, which if I recall correctly, it's the cranial nerve exam.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, it's a very popular video on YouTube in general. I also feel like it was one of my not one of my best videos, but I think I did pretty well on it because I prepared so much, which I usually don't do. But
No, you said you studied the actual exam, which I think is really
yeah,
good.
I tried to make it like really
Professional.
realistic,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah. And also that was, I think it was just right timing because my channel was growing a lot.
Yeah.
That video is really popular, and then the fact that it's in Portuguese from Portugal, it kind of
It was just
everything
all the
together.
right
It kind of
factors. Yeah.
it helped. It's like being in the right place at the right
Right
time,
time. Yeah.
you know.
But
Um,
people say though, you make your own luck. And I think you did. I think you really, you say the right place at the right time as if it was like a chance thing. But I think you manifested that. So
Thank you.
so well done.
Yeah, I mean, it's also about some people say like, "Oh, yeah, you have such a successful channel. That's really lucky." But sometimes I look at it and I'm like, it's not really about luck. It's more about you being able to take chances when you get them,
Mm-hmm.
and also like being on YouTube, I feel like it's a sense of opportunity. You gotta know what's around you,
Yeah.
and you gotta know when to do certain things
Mm-hmm.
um, if you want to grow. And of course, I think everyone starts YouTube. Everyone wants to grow, and everyone wants to have more subs and more views. That's the point of creating a channel, I would say.
Yeah.
Um, but of course, there's tools for that. There's like tactics that you can use, like specific things you can follow.
Definitely.
Um, and I feel like it's a matter of you being able to adapt those things to who you are. And
Yeah.
if you can connect those things, then you can grow much faster, I would say. And then, yeah, it's a tiny bit of luck as well, of course. Everything together
There's
makes it.
there's your Maya ASMR tips for new content creators out there. Which is another question, but you just rolling them off. It's like you've got my sheet in front of you. I think I sent you a
I
copy.
swear I didn't.
No.
I don't have anything.
um, so like I said, to me that really felt like the turning point of your channel where things started to ramp up because I was looking at videos after that block of 4, and everything was kind of like 10K views minimum, and that was minimum. A lot of them were getting more than that, and then finally, and this is so special. I don't know if you know this. This is really cool. So your best video ever, and still to this day is still your best video ever, was on the 1 year anniversary of you uploading. So your first video on the 8th of January 2019, and then I don't know what number it was, but you basically uploaded on the 8th of January 2020, and you have 600,000 views on that video, and it's taking care of you until you fall asleep in Portuguese. I just thought that was crazy.
I didn't know that.
I was like, there's no way. Like like your 1 year anniversary, you release this video and it just blows up like it's crazy.
I don't think I even planned that.
No,
I don't even knew about it. That's insane. That's
it's
such a big coincidence.
yeah, like
That's
oh,
amazing.
what do you want for your 1 year channel anniversary, Maya? Well, I think I'd maybe like a video with like 600,000 views, maybe just hold my beer.
That's so good. I had no idea actually.
So that video in particular though, did you know it was going to blow up in the way that it did slash has? I'm guessing you still get a lot of views on that video to this day,
Hmm.
and they're just it must be like insane figures that you're still getting. So yeah, did you know it was going to blow up? Did you have a feeling, oh, this is going to be a good one?
I had no idea.
No.
It's like I feel like with every video that I post, there's no way I can predict how it's gonna go because sometimes you really think that the video is gonna do so well and it doesn't. And then there's these videos that I love doing them, of course, but I never expect them to go like that huge. But somehow people like fall in love with it and just make it like blow up, and it's just insane, like the amount of views that sometimes some videos get. It's again, it's overwhelming and in a good way, like a really good way.
Yeah.
Um, with that video, I didn't expect it at all.
Just crazy.
It's crazy. It's been growing like over time. Like it started like it blowed up right as I uploaded, but at the same time, it's been growing still. I still
Hmm.
get views from that
Yeah.
video. So yeah, I definitely had no idea it
No
would do
idea.
so well.
Yeah, because like we said, you can upload like a cranial nerve exam and you can kind of have a good idea that, okay, this normally does well on YouTube. I'm expecting it to
Hmm.
do well. But, sometimes you can just, you could film something completely random that just maybe it's just original or maybe it's just something out of left field and also that can blow up. So it's like you just never know, do you? Um, and kind of to finish off this little segment about your channel and numbers and stuff. Sorry if it's very like numbers heavy. Um, but it's just, so like a little stat. You have 22 videos now that have over 100,000 views. It's
It's
incredible again.
crazy.
It's incredible again. Like so many views, and not only that, and you touched on it a couple of minutes ago. You have a strictly English based channel as well. I just wanted to know how that came about. Was there like a good portion of the community that kind of said, oh, can you make a channel that's dedicated just to English videos, or was that just something that you wanted to do yourself anyway?
Um, it was a bit of both, I would say. When I first started, I started in English because I feel really comfortable with the English language in general, and I don't know why I always preferred English content rather than Portuguese. And
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of weird because sometimes Portuguese, in my like from my point of view, it kind of becomes a little bit cringy sometimes.
All right.
But it's the way people say things. There's certain things that sound weird to me in Portuguese. I don't know. But then I also found like I really had fun and I still have fun filming in Portuguese. And I wanted both things. The thing with YouTube is that you can't have both things on the same channel. It's really hard to keep up with both languages because I noticed my English uploads were not doing well. And with them not doing well, YouTube brings down the whole channel because they won't recommend your videos anymore. And I kind of had to make a decision like, do I want to keep this channel fully Portuguese or do I want to try and make it work with English?
Yeah.
And for me, it was kind of a hard decision, but I decided that would be best if I just created a different channel so I could focus my full energy on that and um, be able to do both languages, but not affecting my channel, my current channel. And then, yeah, I also had some people saying, like, oh, I miss your English uploads. And I already had this English community from the beginning
Mm-hmm.
that was, they weren't disappointed, but I felt like they were a little bit sad
Yeah. And
for
I think
not having English content anymore.
Yeah, I think that's natural though. Like imagine you're an English viewer, you've watched Maya from the start, you're an OG, and then you get to this point where, okay, pops up on the phone, they've got notifications on, Maya just uploaded, and then it says Portuguese in the title, and okay, I can't understand Portuguese, so
Yeah.
it's like it must be a sad thing for them. It's funny because I personally sometimes I actually go out my way to watch ASMR in different languages because I like inaudible
Hmm.
whispers. So if I watch someone in a different language, it's kind of like inaudible whispers because I don't know what they're saying. I watch a lot of Russian ASMR actually because for that reason I don't
Hmm.
understand a word of Russian, but I think it's nice to listen to.
A lot of people actually do that. And I also have like a lot of people from the beginning, they were following my channel before it became Portuguese. And a lot of them were like, I still watch your videos because they're pretty relaxing
Yeah,
and it's kind of inaudible whisper for me.
yeah,
But they were also like a little bit sad because they
it's
didn't have much content
it's tough.
that
Yeah.
they could understand.
I
Um,
think you've made the right decision though, and it's still and ultimately like you don't have to have that second channel. You didn't need to make it, but I
mhm.
think that shows how much you care about your other viewers. The fact that you've done it, and you might not upload on there a lot, but I think it says a lot about who you are and how much you care about your audience. So I think well done.
Thank you. Yeah, I definitely had people that were kind of asking sometimes, and I was like, I kind of felt bad because I really wanted to have content for them as well. And on Twitch, I stream mostly in English.
Yeah.
And I felt like people were asking, "Oh, do you have a YouTube channel?" I was like, "Yeah, but it's in Portuguese." And they were like, "Oh, well, I don't speak Portuguese."
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I felt like it was a good decision. Of course, it's sometimes hard to keep up with uploads on everything and streaming and, do everything, but I feel like it was a really good decision. And I feel like now I have a little bit of everything for everyone in my community. And yeah, I'm really glad about that because they were already supporting me with the English videos, even though they didn't understand them. So now I can kind of give back to them and
Yeah.
finally create that content that they can actually understand.
Yeah, no, I think, like I said, I think that's really nice that you've done that. And it shows how caring you are. Um, we've mentioned all of these things, all these amazing YouTube feats, but actually we haven't touched on the Twitch side of things, which is a whole new world that you've got going on over there. So when did you start streaming, and do you see that as a priority now because you stream more than you upload, right? And I get it, like it's easy just to turn the stream on compared to theorizing a video, filming it, editing it, and then uploading it, right? There is more to doing a YouTube video. But yeah, when did you start streaming? I guess why as well, and then yeah, do you prioritize Twitch more of a YouTube?
Um, I do. I feel like I try to give the same attention, kind of, but at a certain point, I kind of started to. It's not that I feel more comfortable with Twitch, but I really felt like it was my thing. And I
Yeah.
started loving it so much that I was putting my attention mostly on it rather than on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
But I was still, of course, keeping up with the uploads and everything. But Twitch is a completely different world. I feel like the reason why I connected so much is Twitch is a community, and you can definitely connect with people. On YouTube, you don't do that much.
It's hard, isn't it? Yeah.
You have YouTube comments, but it's like you don't really keep conversations or anything.
Yeah, you
So
can't. Yeah, I know what you're trying to
yeah,
say. Yeah.
you can't make connections. So I feel like Twitch gave me that part that I was missing, which is connecting with people and actually talk to them and actually be able to make their days better because they go there, they talk to me, and I can kind of help them sometimes, or
Mm-hmm.
even just be some sort of company. And I first started streaming last year. In the beginning of the year, I was trying to stream, but I had a full-time job where I was doing 12 hours per day. So
That must
there
have been
wasn't
tough.
much
Yeah.
time. Yeah, it was like a 3 day, I would work 3 days and be 3 days off.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And the silly me accepted a part-time job as well. So I was doing, yeah, it's crazy. I still don't know
Bye
why I
bye
did
bye
that.
bye bye three time.
I was just like working a full time, working part time, and then I was still doing uploads on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I wanted to start streaming, and I was like, I don't really have time for that.
It's
But
not sustainable now.
yeah, I was just like, I really want to go for it.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic happened, and
Perfect timing.
in a way, yeah, I really can't say that it wasn't good for me because it was perfect. I was in furlough for a lot of months, so I was able to keep my income that I had, like 80%, at least in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I was being paid to stay at home, kind of,
Nice, isn't it?
and that gave me the opportunity to just jump into streaming.
You still had
So
that
that's
time,
what
yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
I'm I dedicated my time. I was streaming, um, like when I started, I was streaming 5 times per week, and I was streaming a lot of hours because I really wanted to um, build a community and start doing that. And with YouTube, I started and I didn't have expectations like you asked. But with
With
Twitch,
this
when
you
I
did.
started,
Yeah.
I I have like I remember having this expectation of like I want to make this full time. So that was the main goal when I started,
Mm-hmm.
and I was streaming a lot. Right now, I stream a lot less, but mostly because I was really close to burnout because I was doing too much and I wasn't giving myself time to uh, just chill,
Just
I
rest and
guess.
recover. Yeah.
Yeah. So now I'm taking it slow and it's doing pretty well. I can see it was crazy because I was so scared. I took around 3 weeks away from streaming, and I was scared that I was gonna lose everything.
I
Um,
was that quite
you know
recently?
that.
Because I remember you posted, and
Hmm.
then and
Yeah.
then after the stream, you're like, "Oh no, everyone was super nice," and I was like, I knew when you first posted, like, she's gonna be fine. Like, I was like, she's gonna be fine.
Definitely. I was so scared. It was super hard for me to take that break. I had like my best friend and my boyfriend, they were kind of like telling me you need this break. And I was like, maybe I do, but I
Yeah,
wasn't sure because I had this massive fear of just being forgotten, I
yeah,
guess.
because you've got like momentum that you build up, right?
Yeah. So on those 3 weeks, I was kind of working with my mental health. I even did therapy for a while, and it was kind of rough, but at the same time, I feel like it was definitely the right decision because I
Yeah,
really need it. And when
yeah.
I came back, I remembered like the day before, or one of the days before I went on my break, I was crying a lot on stream. Like I had this super bad. It was super wholesome because everyone was like giving so many words of
Nice.
like kindness and
Yeah,
love. But I was just crying so much because, well, I mean, I cry a lot in general, and
I do as well.
I was just, I was just so scared that everyone was going to just move on
Hmm.
and not be there for me when I came back. And I really wanted to keep that community because they are
Yeah,
so kind and
but I
I
think
love them so much.
yeah,
But it's like
I think the closing what you just said though, it's community. You know, you've created this community, and obviously a community is is a tight knit group of people. And I think
mhm,
you should have looked at that and thought, well, no, they're gonna be there for me because we are this
yeah.
community. You know what I mean? I think that's really special. And
Yeah,
then
you're
since
right.
then, I think I'm right in saying that your numbers have went just up and up, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I was super surprised because I was thinking like, okay, I'm gonna take a break. I know that the numbers will go down. So I was kind of putting that in my mind and I was like, it's okay. The numbers will go down. It's normal because you were away.
Hmm.
And I kept saying this to myself. And then I came back and things were blowing up and I was like, that's not what I expected. Like, why is this doing so well? Like I was away for 3 weeks and now even more people are coming and I was like, it's insane. I wasn't expecting so much support, you
Yeah.
know? And yeah, I remember I don't know, I was crying, but from happiness.
Happy
So it
tears.
was a
Yeah.
different thing.
You're like, these
Um,
people have just stuck by me and they're still there for me. It must have been a nice,
mhm.
nice feeling.
Yeah, and we have like this on Discord, we have the community there as well
Hmm.
with the server, and everyone was checking up on me every now and then
Yeah.
during my break. And I don't know, I feel like right now, I feel like it's some sort of it became a family really. We call each other we are the bread family. That's what we call
That's
our
super
subs.
sweet. Yeah.
But it's like it's definitely a second family. It's the family that I was able to create.
Hmm.
So I feel like all these people we share kind of the same values and some sort of the same character in a way.
Yeah.
And the ASMR itself brought us all together, and it's just amazing that we can
It's
all
special.
support each other so much. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and I think everything you've talked about there about Twitch and community it really resonates with me. I started I've only just started streaming, but I started my YouTube channel to create that community, to create that family. And like you said, it's
Mhm.
hard. It is hard to create that on YouTube, but I mean, I try my best to do it. I reply to every comment. I'm not the biggest channel, so that's quite easy for me to do. Um, Sometimes it does still get overwhelming just replying to everybody, but I've never asked anyone on my channel for money, and I know people do, and that's absolutely fine. Like, if you want to do that, like, go ahead. But like, I've never done any. I've never dropped like my PayPal or all these other things that you can kind of say.
Mhm.
Do you want to help me? It's not been about that. I think I'm in a lucky position anyway that my job's well paid, but um for me it's just being about being there for people. And I think my personality in general is someone that just likes to help people and likes to be there. Sometimes maybe at the expense of my own mental health. Probably you can relate to that as well, because obviously you took the break.
Yeah.
But I've only streamed once on Twitch at the time of filming this, and it was so different, but like really good as well. That interaction that you get with the chat, and it's like you said, you can continue this conversation, and it's not like a YouTube comment. Like you
Mhm.
said, um, I feel like I could get addicted to that type of thing. So, um,
Well, first of all, let me just say that your stream went really well. Like, I mean, you did super well for first stream. I was really surprised with everything. I already told you, but like quality and everything sounded like amazing.
thank you.
Um, but definitely on YouTube, you can create a community even by replying to comments.
Hmm.
But the thing is, like, you cannot keep up those connections, kind of, or make them stronger.
Yeah.
I feel. And on Twitch, I mean, you probably saw that already, that you can at least sit there for a few hours and be with those people. And it's almost like you're actually together because you're talking in real time.
Hmm.
So you can have proper conversations. And with time, I feel like you will discover that a lot more, but you can start knowing more about their days and you kind of help each other dealing with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it, I think. You're able to really connect with people and really make a difference to help them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And like, there was one girl in my stream, and she's been there like since the start of my channel. And I thought I was already, close to her, but then even in that first stream, it was just insane to see, like, how closer we could get and form
Yeah.
more of a connection, like you were saying. So it's really nice, and I'm just looking forward to just streaming more. And I don't have big expectations for it, but I am very like meticulous in what I put out. Like, I'm
Mhm.
definitely a perfectionist. I don't have OCD because I know how serious that can be. So I would never say I have
Yeah.
OCD, but I have definitely like a perfectionism about me. So I'm always going to try and be my best and do my best. And I watch a lot of streamers in general, so I feel like I know kind of how to interact and how like to
Mhm.
stream. So I'm just going to try my best and just see where it goes. But
I feel like we can actually see that already. At least I remember when I first saw, I think I discovered you through Instagram,
mhm.
actually. And I thought you were like this huge content creator, because everything looked so perfectly done. I was like, wow. So looks everything looks so aesthetically pleasing. I was like, this is like top notch. So I have to check. And
Yep.
then I started checking, and I saw that your channel was
It's like
slightly smaller, and I was
super
like,
small.
oh, it's just starting, and it was just insane. Like the quality and the things you deliver always have those standards.
Yeah.
And you see that even on your stream. That's why I said all those things, because it is amazing to see that on your first stream you have so many things already worked out. And a lot of people, when they're starting, they're just like kind of lost, and even dealing with the chat is kind of hard.
It,
And
it
I
was
feel like you handled it pretty well, and we're
yeah.
like so comfortable with it. So you're definitely doing well on that point.
It was hard. I mean, it's hard when you're playing a game. I know, I
Yeah,
I know
that's
you
really
like
hard.
you're doing ASMR triggers, but like, oh man, and I'm playing like um a harder version of the game. as well. So like
Oh,
if my
yeah.
Pokemon faints, it basically I can't use it again. Whereas normally if you weren't doing what I'm doing, you just revive it and it's fine.
Mhm.
But that was like super hard. Thankfully no one died. Yeah, but thank you for that. It does mean a lot coming from someone like you who is so established, so hardworking, and everything that you've achieved. It does really mean a lot. So thank you. And I like that you notice because I think you relate to yourself, like, all these things that I put in place. And I think some people can
Mm.
kind of take that the wrong way sometimes. And they like look at me, realize I'm a small channel, and then like, why is he doing this? Does he think he's like, because you could look at that and think,
Mm,
well,
okay,
he
yeah.
maybe he maybe thinks he's better than what he is. And it's not that at all. It's just that's how I have to function. And I
Yeah.
can't get away from that. Otherwise, it'll trigger me. It'll give me anxiety and stuff like that. It just has to be, well,
Yeah, I
near
get
on
that.
perfect. Yeah. So,
Thing is,
uh,
like, if you know how to do it, then why not,
yeah,
If you can do it properly from the beginning, that's huge. I mean, you should definitely use everything you have, like all your skills and all your qualities, you should definitely put them to work when you come across these kind of things, like streaming and doing videos.
yeah,
And I feel like no one should feel that way, kind of, like thinking, "Oh, he thinks he's really good." I mean, if you have those skills, then that's amazing. I mean, most people are just watching a lot of tutorials and trying to start somewhere, and they take a long time to kind of grind and get some things sorted, especially with streaming.
yeah.
And the fact that you were able to create such a good stream from the beginning, I feel like that's only good. That's only a good thing. That's
So
really
you were meant to
amazing.
come on here for me to give you compliments, not the other way around.
Well, we do it both ways. It's fine. It's fine.
I'll have to send the compliment police round to sort you out. And you really did test me though, because I know you were offline at the time, but you hosted me, and I had the host alert there ready to go, and I was like, okay, okay, like I didn't expect to hear that today. But like I did set all that up, and I didn't realize that you can't until you're like affiliated, you don't have certain features, but all that is in
Mhm.
place anyway. So that just shows you.
Yeah, that's
Um,
really good.
but yeah, wow, okay, we are deep into this, guys. If you're still following, thank you so much. Um, okay, I just wanted to know very quickly. Talk to me about who Maya is outside of ASMR, outside of YouTube, outside of Twitch. What is she doing in terms of I know you're not working anymore, you're not studying anymore, but maybe like hobbies. What do you like to do?
Well, first of all, in terms of who I am, I feel like I'm quite real in my videos, and especially on my streams, you can definitely see my personality a lot more. But the thing is, like, I'm this like huge bubble of energy usually. So on my videos, I usually have to turn it down a notch because it is too much energy for ASMR and I need to be calm.
Yeah.
But in real life, I'm always like super all over the place and I talk a lot, like a lot. Um, but I feel like most of my personality comes through on Twitch especially, and people can actually know me. Um, but then yeah, outside streaming, outside of everything, I have a little bit more, like a lot more things going on, and the thing with the hobbies is kind of hard for me because that's something I have struggled for a while because I couldn't find hobbies that I actually enjoyed.
Hmm.
I struggled for a while with finding something that I was passionate about that wasn't making videos because for a really long time, making videos was just an hobby because I had my main job.
Yeah.
And when it became my source of income, I have to keep in mind that it's my job now. And so my job, it can be an hobby as well, but at the same time, it can't because I need to separate myself from that or
Yeah.
else I will get tired
Yeah.
and I'll burn out. And I feel like that's when I struggled the most because my hobby started being my full-time job, and I found myself without anything to relax to. And that's also why I took my break because I wasn't taking time for myself. I started doing a bunch of things recently. I started to learn how to play ukulele, and I
Wow.
started to paint again because I love painting.
That's nice.
Um,
You need to share some paintings that you've done.
yes, I actually do some painting streams sometimes, and
Okay.
I do like giveaways where I can just gift them to the
Oh, that's
community.
so nice. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I feel like it's a nice way to give them like something back. I
Is it?
posted quite a few already, and it's really nice when they receive them because I also send like some uh, postcards and stuff with some messages. And it's just so lovely to be able to
That's so sweet.
connect to them like in that way.
Yeah.
And yeah, and give back as well to the community for like all the support. And yeah, those are mostly the hobbies that I've been doing right now, and then just chill and like watching Netflix and stuff and playing with my
Do you
cats.
watch
I love
anime?
my cats. No, I don't.
You
I
don't watch?
watched one recently
Okay.
because my
What did you watch?
Golden Time.
Okay,
I'm
I've
not
never
sure if
seen
you
that.
know it.
No.
Yeah. It was like my best friend is really into it, and then he said like, "Oh, you really need to watch this one." So we kind of like watched it together because if I watch it alone, I give up.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed it. And there's a few more that kind of like I kind of look into them, but then I don't know, I just don't start them. Um, I guess I'm not into it as much,
They're
but
a commitment, that's for sure.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot.
No, that's
Not yet for me, but maybe one day.
maybe. Yeah. No, it's a nice insight because sometimes, we just see these creators and we don't get to know, who they are like outside,
Yeah.
which is one of the reasons why I just wanted to do this podcast in the first place because it's, creators can film their own Q&A video, but it's a bit one dimensional. I think,
Hmm.
having a more of a conversation where, I can facilitate things, it just breaks down more of the barriers. But yeah,
Yeah.
so the final segment, it's going to be a quick segment, is the future, obviously. I normally ask about things like future projects, things like maybe, oh, are you thinking about Patreon? Do you have any collabs coming up? What about vlogs? What about Twitch? But obviously, you're already doing a lot of that. So, is there any future projects coming up that you are working on, though, that you can talk about without giving spoilers away or anything like that?
Um, yeah, I mean, I have a few things that I'm kind of working on. I'm really slow when it comes to working on new stuff. And I usually keep things to myself because I don't really like the pressure of people knowing about it
Yeah.
because it kind of brings that pressure of putting things out there faster. And I've been trying to slow down a bit and do things with my own pace.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I am working on a few things, especially it's more related to okay, this I can say this part, but it's more related to audios because some people ask me for just the audio without the video.
Right. Okay.
So it has more to do with that, and also
Oh, I
okay,
think I
this will
think I
be
know I think
news.
I know where you were going with that last thing, but yeah, okay.
This will be new, like a new thing. It's kind of like a I can reveal a little bit of it. Uh, I'm working on some sort of like website for myself so I can have everything in
In
one
one
place.
place. That's really nice. Yeah.
A lot of people recommend it and already asked me like, why don't you have a website? I was like, well, I don't know. Um, so I'm kind of working on that as well. And then yeah, it's just giving up with streaming and YouTube. And I also have a Patreon page
Oh, you
where I
do
do
have that.
some.
Okay.
mm,
I wasn't sure.
I do some extra content, and I also offer like on the highest tier, I have some exclusive videos, like personalized videos. So I'm working on that, and yeah, I think for now I'm trying to take things slow. So that's all I'm working on.
That's all she's working on, guys. That's just not very much. So much. I feel
It's just
I
that.
I feel bad now for taking so much time out of your day. I'm like, oh my god. I'm very sorry about that. Okay. So in terms of more ASMR videos rather than streams. Is there anything you want to do that you haven't done in terms of that, or is it just kind of going to be more of the same in terms of like styles or genres that you haven't done yet, or like a certain video?
I feel like on YouTube especially, it's mostly I feel like I'm gonna keep going in the same direction. I've
Hmm.
been testing a few things, especially on my Portuguese channel. I really enjoy. I know I have the majority of people are from Brazil, so I'm trying to do some videos that go towards that community. So I have some videos that relate directly to Brazil,
Okay.
and that's mostly like I really want them to know how much I care and how much I appreciate their support because they are like really, really supportive throughout all this time. So I also discovered that I really enjoy making videos like teaching videos.
Hmm.
I'm not sure if that has anything to do with me as a kid enjoying like playing professor, and I was always like, I wanna be a teacher when I grow up.
Yeah.
And then I lost it. But I still have this. I really like the part like I love making videos that are at the same time teaching something. And I feel like I want to do more of those. I
Yeah.
did a few about like it was just me whispering the cities from Brazil or cities from Portugal.
Hmm.
I did some teaching English actually. Um, and I feel like I really enjoy that type of content, so I probably will go there a bit
Mm.
more.
Yeah, that's
And on
nice.
Twitch, I want to go into the art content a little bit more as well. So painting streams.
That'd be so relaxing. I think it's perfect for ASMR as well. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people actually enjoyed it. I did it like I always have lo-fi, and I feel like with the painting, it's like a really good environment to just chill. And I usually use like double cameras, so I have a camera on the thing that I'm drawing,
Yeah.
and I have one on myself. And yeah, people enjoy just staying there. I can still chat with them, and
Yeah.
they can just sometimes have it in the background just for company.
It's nice, yeah. One thing I did want to ask, I just thought about it actually. I didn't have this written down, um, because you are Portuguese and you do have like a big Brazilian following. And I don't
Mhm.
know the name of the film in Portuguese, but have you seen the film City of God?
By that name, I'm not
You
sure,
haven't seen it.
actually.
Yeah, I don't
I
know what
don't
that
think so.
translates to in Portuguese, but it's a really popular well, it's a Brazilian film. So
Mhm.
it's set in like the favelas in like Rio de Janeiro, and it's about this boy and his brother and like how they grew up in the favelas. But like
Okay.
one's more of like a bad boy, and he gets, you know, involved with like crime and stuff like that. And then the other one is a bit more, he's a bit more genuine, a bit more innocent, and it's about their lives. And it's a really life changing film. I don't know why I watched it because it's not popular in the UK whatsoever, but it's
Mhm.
you know, it's this really nice Portuguese film. So I thought you might have watched it, but you haven't. If you
I
haven't,
haven't.
if you
I
haven't though,
have
you
to.
should definitely watch it. It's such a beautiful film. It's probably in like my top five. It's sad
Wow.
in parts, but
I'll definitely cry.
I feel like you would connect with it a lot. So yeah, I, I
I
I'm
have to watch
I'm
it.
pretty sure it's hard to get hold of in the UK, but you'll be able to find it somewhere online for sure.
Yeah. I will try.
I
You just
saw.
have to send me the name again, and I
Oh
will
yeah, I
search for
will.
it.
I will. Um, I just wanted to ask you that. Sorry. But the
It's
final
okay.
thing was, you know, I normally ask people, what's the ultimate goals of the channel? You know, do you want to go full time? Obviously, you know, you're already full time at this point. Um, do you could you see yourself doing this until, you know, you're at the age where you would retire? Would that be a perfect life for you? Would you take that if someone said, you know, you can do ASMR content creation, you know, YouTube, Twitch for the rest of your life, and you know, you'd be happy, you'd be sustainable? Is that, or do you,
Actually, really deep question, kind
yeah,
of.
it
I,
is.
I think about it sometimes, and I think I thought about it recently, actually. It's mostly like a fear of will I be able to maintain this as like my main job for years to come? And I think with this kind of like being a content creator as like full time, there's always this, like, it's not stable at all. Um,
Mhm.
it's very uncertain. You don't know what's coming, and you don't know if you're gonna be able to do it in like a year
Right.
or so. But in my case, I kind of decided to just don't stress that much about the future and
No,
just
just live in the
try
moment.
to
Yeah.
focus on like the moment. And it is working for now, and I really want to keep doing it at least for like more years. I don't know how many, but for as long as I can. YouTube, I have no idea. I also want to keep going with it, and I want to keep growing both channels. I feel like now um, that I achieved the 100K on that channel, I also want to redirect a little bit more energy towards the English one and try to accomplish the same.
Yeah, get that extra
And
silver plaque.
and yeah, I feel like I still have goals and I still want to keep doing this.
Yeah.
I just don't know if it will be for many, many years to
Sustainable.
come,
Yeah.
or
I
I
think
don't know. I will just go with the flow for now.
Yeah, no, I think what I would say is, I mean, even before I filmed this podcast, but definitely through talking to you throughout, it's very evident that you clearly have a good head on your shoulders. You definitely know what you're doing. You're evidently hardworking. I think you're passionate about ASMR. You're passionate about your community, and I think all them things are just blend together to and just accumulate to this perfect recipe basically. And I think whatever you're going to be doing, I think you're just going to be successful at it. Because
Thank you.
I just see so much. I know you've achieved a lot already, but I can just see so much more potential, and I know that you'll continue to do well and continue to succeed. At least I think anyway.
Thank you so much. I always like recently someone said something similar towards me, and I was like, it's so interesting to see that people from like the outside, they look at what I'm doing and they go like, "Oh, you're doing so well, so successful and everything." And I have these moments where I feel like I'm not doing enough, and I
Yeah.
feel like I I'm struggling so much and I'm a huge mess. And then yeah, I need some people to just kind of pull me and say, "No, you're doing okay,
Yeah.
and it's enough." And yeah, I recently, like, I have a lot of people that actually um, keep me going
Yeah. I know
in
you've got a lot of good
that
friends.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, it feels really good that the community is also there and telling those things, because it gives an extra help to keep
It's
going.
just a different perspective because I think we can be our
Mm-hmm.
own worst critic at the end of the day, right? And I
Definitely.
think we're just naturally wired to you know hold ourselves in such high regard and keep pushing ourselves to do better.
Mm-hmm.
um so I think they're just natural thought processes that you're going through. But honestly, you are doing an amazing job. And like I say, I can only see good things. And in my opinion, anyway, I think the ASMR space in general will just continue to grow. I think
I
mental
agree.
health. I, I think mental health in general is becoming just more more accepted.
Mm-hmm.
More in the spotlight. And I think through that, people will look to, obviously therapy and stuff like that, but also to ASMR to get that, ease from their current problems. And I can only see it getting bigger. Um,
Yeah, I agree.
so I think you'll be fine. But like I say, I think you've got all the tools to succeed in whatever you want to do in life. And with that, we are going to end the podcast there because I think we could talk for hours.
That's true.
And I'm pretty sure, I don't know for 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure we've had the longest podcast episode so far. So achievement unlocked
I
there.
talk so much.
No,
I always end up talking so much.
no, you know what it is. Honestly, it's just I don't often go double sided with my notes for the podcast, but I have as well for this. So I knew it was going to be a long one, and there was so much I wanted to talk to you about because I'm just so fascinated by people's thought processes, and how they started and how they've adapted to certain things.
Mhm.
And I think you've been through a lot, you've done a lot, and you've succeeded a lot. So that's why it's taken so much. But thank you so much for coming on. And thank you guys if you're still watching. Hopefully, me and Maya didn't talk you to death, but thank you guys for watching as well. But yeah, thank you so much, Maya.
And just say thank you to you because I was thinking about this earlier. Like so amazing that you actually take your time to meet other creators and to get like to have some interest in their lives and give us that space to kind of show a little bit more about ourselves because sometimes we don't have that space
Mm-hmm.
even though we have channels. I always feel like people don't really want to hear me talking about myself for that long. And I feel like podcasts like this kind of bring the other side of the community, and
Exactly.
it's really really nice of you to take that time to actually prepare those questions and go through the life of the creator and show people that side. So thank you for making the podcast and for
Even
having me and all the others.
I'm cheesing now. No, that's such a nice thing to say. And I really, I agree with everything that you said. I just love talking to people in general, but um, I like getting to know them and being that guy that puts that content out there. I want to be the bridge, that connects um people from one side of the ASMR space to the other, and hopefully we'll get to that point. But we'll see. But I'm just having fun filming these. And I hope you people, lovely people that are watching, are having fun as well. So if you did make it this far and you weren't familiar with Maya before today, then please check out the video description and the pinned comment because it'll have the links to all her channel pages, including her YouTube and Twitch, as well as social media pages as well. So you can stay up to date with her. And trust me, you definitely want to subscribe and you definitely want to go and follow her on Twitch because you'll be in for a good time. Um, and if you did enjoy this podcast and you want to see more with other creators, I do upload this every single week, every single Wednesday at the same times. This is the 11th episode, so there's plenty of episodes to go and watch. But I also do normal ASMR videos, so it'd be awesome if you could like the video, comment down below what you thought. If you have any constructive criticism for me, that's also cool. If you have any questions for Maya, please leave them down below. I can't guarantee that she'll answer, but you
I
never
will.
know. Um, and yeah, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and click that bell icon and select all to get notification every time a new podcast episode goes live and every time a new ASMR video goes live so you don't miss out. But with that said, this has been the Wiretap Whisper Podcast. Maya has been an angel, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.
Bye.